Alrighty, welcome to this game. This is between LsP Tina playing the yellow Terran against OhYeea, who is LsP ViPeR playing the blue Zerg. So this matchup will be a TVZ. I like this matchup, it's quite fast. And it's also... So this matchup always brings some cool moves and cool steps on the part of the players. Of course, it takes some time to find out which player does what, but sometimes this matchup brings surprises, especially from the part of the Terran player who might go for a fast drop and surprise his opponent. Because most Zerg players just go for the choke right here and go for defense, and some Terran players just abuse this by a drop. Yeah, so ViPeR is going for the choke and nothing too crazy. Tina is just opening up with the barracks, nothing too crazy from her side as well. In some moment it will turn out what Zerg is going ahead with. ViPeR tends to go for fast Hydra, so he just makes like one or two sunken colony right here, and then changes for I mean he just goes for fast gas and makes some hatcheries and go for fast Hydra. So it can be a surprise if you're not prepared for that. Then it can be a huge surprise for you to see a Zerg player going for Hydras while making a choke. Most players feel safe when they see the choke because they do not expect anything crazy. They think that their opponent is going for sunkens and going for huge defense and won't make any units. That's why that's why fast Hydras can be surprising. There's a bit of lag in the game. I hope this will be fixed anytime soon. Yeah, it seems to be alright now. Tina is just harassing this choke. She's attacking the creep colony just to make ViPeR busy, and he's just coming with Zerglings to be able to protect the choke and be able to expand. Tina is committing to the bios, so she's making marines and most probably will go for an academy, while ViPeR is trying to expand the choke. Okay, that's interesting. Got a message from Battle.net that he exited the system. This won't be a problem. This happens quite often, that Battle.net just displays this message but the player still remains in the game, though lagging might be a problem. And it seems there might be an issue with ViPeR, or at least with his network. We will see if this gets fixed. Tina is scouting and now finds ViPeR. Yeah, so those who don't know, yeah, blue is LsP ViPeR. I just like to say ViPeR because yeah, that's what he's playing. That's the account that he's playing on the most, and that's what I just remember, and it's easier to refer to him like that. But sometimes he's playing on this OhYeea account, which sometimes sounds funny to me, and I tend to say him sometimes, oh yeah. Okay, Tina is just going for the factories and stop making marines. She'll try to get some tanks and break this choke. And this is the time when the Zerg player has to decide what to go for exactly. Like, they have to decide whether to go for fast Guardians, fast Defiler, mass Zerglings, and so on. These are the most popular options, because going for Hydras right now is not a very good choice, as they are useless against tanks. And that's why ViPeR is just trying to scout to be able to see what Tina is going on with. Zerg, excuse me, needs to know what his opponent is making, because if he sees a fast tank, he might decide to go on with mass Zerglings. This can be a surprise for the Terran player, because they usually tend to forget about Marines and just commit to tanks. And they make tanks and forget bio, which means that the tanks can be unprotected and the Zerglings can just rush the tanks. ViPeR is not rushing anywhere, he's just expanding the choke, getting big and bigger, not going on with the lair, so nothing too crazy. He is expanding this choke to the middle of the map. This is quite normal, so most players do this to be able to buy some time. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the game, some Terran players like to abuse this and go for a drop, because those players who spend a lot of money on choke tend to forget about drop defense. As you can see, OhYeea doesn't have a drop defense, and if Tina went a drop right now, she will be able to destroy his eco. But she's not doing that. She's just gathering up in the middle of the map and trying to break the choke anyway with tanks. This will take quite some time, so Blue can be calm right now. He will have time to do what he wants to. Get upgrades, get units, because his choke is alright, it's quite huge, and now he will just... Now he's going for the inner side and expand there. Tina is going on with an extra CC, which will come handy as regards macro. Terran at the beginning is alright with only one CC, it's okay. Marines are not so expensive, but as soon as tanks are out and you need more of them, then of course you need a higher eco, and that's the time when Terran players go for an extra CC to be able to produce more SCVs, get more tanks, and so on. The engineering bay is just for scouting reasons, to check how large the choke is. And Tina just sees that ViPeR made some Hydras and didn't really make new sunken colonies, so she might be able to go for a bust. She's not really hurrying as well. She relies on the tanks and the vessels. It's really hard as a Zerg player to go against tanks supported by Marines and vessels. And Blue seems to be devoting to Hydras. I mentioned somewhere at the beginning that against tanks, choosing Hydras not the best option, because they are literally useless against tanks. This really only works if a Zerg player has lots of Hydras, like 4 or 5 times 12 Hydras in a control group, and attack in different directions, so come from the top, come from the middle, and come from down. So Tina is going for the scout right here. She is not going to irradiate. She was just checking the main. Wanted to be able to see if ViPeR went for a lair or a hive to be safe against lurkers or guardians. But she saw that no lair is laid, so most probably she will facing hydras, which she does right now, and ViPeR just trying to come in. And that was a nice timing because he managed to kill all those tanks. That was a nice catch. He managed to kill all those tanks, and right now Tina had to bring new tanks and siege them up to be able to stop this rush. So most probably she will be able to stop this and focus on getting bigger. ViPeR just managed to buy some time, but Tina is just continuing to attack and go on with the hydras, with the marines. But ViPeR is able to clear this easily. ViPeR has killed all the bios, so only tanks are left at the moment for Tina, which is alright. So again, against this amount of hydras can be okay if she sieges up, which she does right now in time. And ViPeR just, yeah, he had to get back. Okay, so this is the point where both players just tend to gather up and brace themselves, so to say. Get some time to build up, make an army, and try to bust their enemy once more. Tina is trying to come up to the middle of the map, take some map control. So against Zerg you have to have a map control. You shouldn't let Zerg just to expand everywhere in the map. And Tina is just doing this right now, so she's trying to confine ViPeR in his base, killing the fresh sunken colonies. And now ViPeR is just having a few hydras. This might not be enough. More and more hydras are pouring in, but the tanks are in siege mode, killing all these hydras. Meanwhile this is happening, Tina is doing a great job by irradiating these workers. So ViPeR's economy might be in trouble in a few moments. When the irradiate goes off and all the drones die, will make this situation hard for ViPeR. He's just trying to kill the vessel. Tina wasn't paying attention for a moment, but the vessel managed to live through this. ViPeR is getting more and more hydras. And he's a bit in trouble because he also has to remake the drones because he lost many drones to the irradiates, but he doesn't really have time for that because Tina is just expanding in his base. And now he will try to go for the bust and kill the tanks, but it won't be enough. There are so many tanks that will be able to shoot all these hydras down easy. ViPeR is in a huge trouble right now. He doesn't really have much money. His economy is low, being irradiated all the time. Tina is doing a great job. It's really difficult right now for the Zerg player to get units and get drones. So ViPeR is just storing these hydras down here and might save up for a last try, but I think it won't be successful. This is the last moment he's trying to attack, so if this doesn't work out, then he will GG. Yeah, that's it. GG.